$95 Coach Cherry Charm, $15 Amazon Cherry Charm, and $4 Shein Cherry Charm. As you guys know, I've already reviewed the Amazon one and the Cherry one, but I got the Shein one. I had to. So let's compare all three. And just a reminder, I'm not here to influence or de-influence. If you happen to be de-influenced or influenced in this video, that's great. But just know that I am just here to literally make a fun little comparison video, okay? Also, I think it'd be so cool in the future to do a little scuff test, drop test, even cut these charms open just to test durability. So if you're interested in that, comment below, and maybe when I get more followers one day, I'll do that. Let's get started. We're first going to weigh them. Let's start with the Shein one. Next up, Amazon. Next up, the Coach one. Sorry. Okay, let's point out the overall differences. So we have the $4, $15.95. Obviously, the main difference that Coach will have all by itself is that it has Coach written on the actual keychain. Obviously, they're all going to be different in some way, but I just like to point out those differences. For example, the Coach one has 4 links, whereas the Amazon one has 3. And the Shein one also has 3. And on the Amazon and the Shein one both have 3. This one, links aren't quite closed compared to the Amazon. Here are all the cherries side by side with each other. Here's the Coaches, the Amazon, and the Shein. So it varies a little bit on size, if they're touching or not, and shape. Here's how the dog leash clasps look. Here's an outside close-up of each. Here's the Coach one, the Amazon, and then the Shein. Okay, now for the transparency test. Let's hop into some coloring differences because they do differ on hardware. I loved the generous D-ring on this Dooney, and it's the same brass tone as Coach Retail, and so I grabbed it to test out the different tones of hardware. So let's put the Coach one on, the Amazon, and then the Shein. Oh. The Shein one is actually a little too small. Okay, here I have my big light. I just put the Shein one on that dog leash clasp. So we've got the Coach one, the Amazon one in the middle, and then the Shein one. So you can tell they definitely differ in hardware coloring. Which, if you are a stickler on hardware wanting to match and you have a Coach bag, just know that it'll be just a little bit off. Not a big deal, just something I want to point out. And then speaking of color differences, the cherries themselves are actually all really similar in the shade of red. I think the Coach one's probably a little bit deeper, it has more glitter in it, and I mentioned that in the last video, it has some accenting black on top to kind of add some more depth. There's the Shein one on the end and the Amazon one in the middle. All very, very similar. Whoa, I put the light underneath it. That's what it looks like. It is now officially time for them to hit the runway, so let's do some mod shots. Ask any questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have a lovely